Hi guys, welcome back to CJ's Keto Kitchen. Tonight we are going to be making an easy one-pot Italian dish, and it is going to be keto chicken carbonara. So come with me and let's get started. So traditionally, carbonara is a type of pasta dish, and it usually is made with egg yolks and it's coated on spaghetti, and it has usually some type of pork like pancetta, sometimes guanciale, which is the cheeks of the pig, and it usually has some kind of very strong Italian cheese like pecorino romano or parmesan. Now this dish is not going to have egg yolks as is traditional because it's mostly just egg yolk coated spaghetti or fettuccine, and we want ours to be keto and to have a higher protein content. So tonight I'm going to be mimicking those flavors, but we're going to be using bacon and heavy cream and of course chicken and fresh herbs. So let's go ahead and get cooking. So I have made this into a one dish meal. The only thing that I have done separately is my bacon, but you could easily start that before your chicken and just set it aside if you wanted this to truly be a one pot dish, but I am calling it that. So in my Dutch oven, I have been cooking 2 pounds of chopped up chicken thighs. If you wanted to even simplify this recipe a bit further, you could just use a rotisserie chicken, but that's what I have here in my Dutch oven. So to my cooked chicken thighs, I'm going to be adding 1/4 of a white onion. You could use red if you prefer. It's not very much onion for the entire dish. You could of course add less or omit it entirely if you don't care for onion, or if you wanted a little more, you could actually add a little more. I'm going to let our onion saute into our chicken thighs and gather some of that flavor and get just a little bit brown and translucent. Into our sauteed chicken thighs and the onion that we put in, I'm now going to put in my 6 slices of bacon, and I have rewarmed this in bacon drippings. So that is going to go into the rest of our chicken mixture. So traditionally, carbonara is made with egg yolks, and that provides a nice richness to pasta. But because I wanted to make this a more ketogenically friendly version, and there are some versions of carbonara that skip the egg yolks and just do a traditional cheesy cream sauce, and that's what I'm going to be mimicking here tonight. So instead, we are going to be making a delicious and rich sauce using heavy cream and chicken broth, and of course the delicious bacon drippings that we have from the bacon that we put in our dish. What I would like to do first though is to season it with some Italian flavors, and so that's what I'm going to be doing now. So I have placed mine in a little dish so that I can sprinkle them evenly over my carbonara. But what I have in there is I have some oregano. I've also used my beloved 21 seasoning salute, but you could mimic this with some kind of garlic and herb blend. Grocery stores make them. I think Mrs. Dash has one, McCormick has one. It's just basically an all-purpose seasoning. I'm also using garlic because obviously garlic is very prevalent in Italian food, and I love garlic, so that's what's going in there. And I'm just going to sprinkle that evenly over our carbonara. You could use fresh whole garlic that you've chopped if you wanted to, but I'm just choosing to use powder in this step. But of course, do whatever you like. So we have incorporated our seasonings into our carbonara. Next, we are going to create our sauce for this lovely dish. The first thing that I'm going to add is chicken broth, and I need 1 cup of that. And you definitely want to be sure and scrape all your yummy bits off of your pan when you start adding your liquids, because this is where all of the flavor from your sauce is going to be. The next thing that I'm going to add is heavy cream, and I'm going to add the same 1 cup of that into our sauce. And this is going to give us the richness that would be traditionally found in your classic carbonara by using the egg yolks. But we've just skipped that step and created the richness with the heavy cream and the bacon. So for this dish, it is very traditional to add some kind of hard, firm Italian cheese, usually Pecorino Romano or some type of Parmesan, because it is a dry, strong flavored cheese, and that is going to give us a very delicious flavor to our sauce. So I'm going to be using grated Parmesan cheese here. If you wanted to use another type of hard Italian cheese, you could. But I would definitely recommend using a hard cheese here, not a soft cheese. And that was 1/3 cup. And I'm just going to incorporate everything. As you can see, we're starting to get a nice, beautiful sauce going on here. So the next thing that I'm going to add, we only have 3 more ingredients, but for the time being, I'm going to add in this one. And you want 2 to 3 cups of fresh spinach. If you only had access to frozen, you could use frozen, but you definitely need to make sure that it is well drained. But I'm going to be using fresh spinach here. If you don't care for spinach, you could omit it. But I think that it adds a beautiful texture and color for this dish. So I'm going to put in 2 to 3 cups, and then I'm going to put a lid on it, and I'm going to turn it on low and just let all of our flavors combine for just a few minutes, about 5 to 10 minutes. Now when I put a lid on it, after I stir it around, fresh spinach is of course going to wilt down significantly and blend into our sauce, which is what we're looking for here. So I'm just going to turn my temperature down to low, and I'm going to put a lid on my Dutch oven, and we're going to let this just simmer for a few minutes, about 5 to 10 minutes. So you can see that the 2 to 3 cups of spinach that I put in have wilted down nicely, and that's what will happen when you use fresh spinach. So we have 2 more ingredients left. The first one is basil. I'm a big proponent of fresh herbs. I really feel like they make a huge difference in simple foods especially, and they're not cost prohibitive. In my grocery store, this large container of organic basil was only $1.98. So, and this should last well for several meals. So I really feel like it makes a big difference. Of course, if you cannot find herbs, the dry ones will be completely fine, but there's something really special about using fresh herbs. So I am going to take some of these leaves out. And what I generally like to do with herbs that are in the flat leaf form, like sage and basil and some like that, is I like to chiffonade them, and that means that I take the leaves off. And you can use, of course, as much herb as you like. I really enjoy basil. So I'm going to start with 3 leaves. And I start from the small end, and I just roll it up. And chiffonading is a French technique. It basically just means that we're going to slice it into ribbons. So you just want to take your knife, of course be aware of your fingers, and just start slicing your herbs into ribbons. And you can see that it makes beautiful little ribbon pieces of basil. And that's going to go into our dish. So I'm going to finish chiffonading this, and then we'll put it into our carbonara. And I'm going to stir that in just a minute after we add our final ingredient. So I happen to watch a lot of food television at night with CJ, and it seems in every TV show that is on the Food Network that we watch, they're always trying to add some form of acid into whatever they're cooking because it provides a counterbalance for the flavors in your dish. Because we have a sauce here that is very rich with bacon and chicken and cheese and cream, they're very heavy, dense ingredients, which we absolutely love, especially on the ketogenic lifestyle. But it can be very nice to add a bit of acid in there to give it some freshness. And that's where citrus comes in very well. You could use lemon or lime here. I'm going to be using lemon. I'm going to cut this in half, and I'm just going to juice it straight over my dish, and that is when I will incorporate my basil. And I'm just using a sieve to catch any possible seeds that might come out. So we're just going to give this a nice stir and incorporate the acid from our lemon juice, and of course the basil that we chiffonaded, and we are ready to serve. There it is, keto chicken carbonara. Okay, tonight's fabulous one-pot dinner is a creamy chicken carbonara, and this is, of course, keto. Welcome to another delicious dinner. Tonight's dinner is Italian, and it is creamy chicken carbonara. And it's one pot.
All right. Well, it certainly looks creamy. It is creamy. It's savory, really smooth. I do get a touch of just a little hint of lemon. Kind of makes it a little bit lighter. So yes, I think it's good. I still think it's easy too.
It was easy.
I know, I was here. But no, it's good. It really is good, and I think I mean, yeah, for us, you prepared the chicken in advance and did the bacon, but I didn't take that long to do that. So, and you mentioned you can have a rotisserie chicken.
That would make it extra easy.
So, it's really good. I think this will be something that the whole family likes. We'll find that out in just a minute. And good job, baby. Thank you for your hard work.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks for joining us again tonight, you guys. We hope that you enjoy this easy Italian classic. Hopefully it will make getting dinner put on the table very quick. We hope that you will consider subscribing and hitting the notification bell so that you know when we upload new content such as this. I try and upload 2 savory and 2 sweet recipes a month, and we would like you to definitely join us for that. On Wednesdays, we have Keto Conversations, and that's where we get together and we talk about different ketogenic lifestyle topics. Sometimes we have food unboxings, sometimes we do grocery hauls and talk about what we're eating on this lifestyle, and sometimes we just have a good old-fashioned conversation about the keto lifestyle. We are also on social media. We are on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Pinterest, and we are also trying a little bit of TikTok. So definitely join us there, and that is CJ's Keto Kitchen everywhere. If you need information for this particular recipe and any of the other recipes that we have already made, that is always found on our blog, and that is cjsketokitchen.com. And there we have an extensive library of our recipes, most of which are printable. I also talk about things I learned while making this recipe, and CJ's taste test follow-up is there as well. So definitely head over there. We hope that you'll come back and see us again. And until that time, be well. Bye. you.